Good morning and welcome back to Margin. This morning we're going to talk about the purpose of education. So let's jump right into it. So education comes in all different shapes, sizes, and forms. We are constantly educated as we grow up, whether we go to preschool, kindergarten, elementary, middle, high school, or if we go through that process, we continue on to get our associate's degree, our bachelor's degree, master's, and so on and so forth. Now that's all formalized education. But what we also don't realize is the fact that we are educated by our parents, by guardians, by siblings, by friends, neighbors, and the people that you spend the most time with. Oftentimes, though, we don't realize that we learn so much in how we view the world from those around us and those that we surround ourselves with. So whether it is by obligation or it's by choice, people have a significant influence on us. You've heard the saying that ignorance is bliss, but it's only bliss until you realize that you don't know what you don't know, and what you don't know can actually hurt you. So it's important that you educate yourself. It's important that you know that what you don't know can actually hurt you. So if what you don't know can actually hurt you, then why is so very little taught about personal finance, around the topic of personal finance? It seems as though we are largely financially illiterate as a culture. And I believe that this is due to either a lack of applied information or flat out misinformation. And the problem is it seems as though most of us wing it when it comes to our personal finances. We look around and we see our neighbors, we see our friends, we see our family members and what they're doing with their money, how they're behaving with their money without actually creating and abiding by a plan. I think this is why when people latch onto simple money tips like the baby steps popularized by Dave Ramsey, that they almost so easily adopt and apply them because it's a simplistic approach to personal finance that many people have not necessarily looked at. So what have you caught from those around you or been intentionally taught? And what is true about your money in particular? Actually think about it. Think about what it is you know to be true about money and where you actually got it from. Do you have a mindset of I can afford X, or I can't afford X, or how can I afford X? Or do you typically tell yourself that you can't accomplish something because of the accomplishments or lack thereof of those around you? Or do you have a tendency to seemingly limit your mindset of things that are possible for you? Or do you have a limitless mindset? Do you have all things are possible from that standpoint? Just because you may have learned or picked up on something that is a seemingly bad habit around money, does that really define you today? Really think about this. Think about where you learned your ability to manage personal finances from and how that has actually worked for you. Has that actually worked for you? Would you say that those methods are working? Or are you here because whatever you picked up along the way, along your journey, has led you to a place where you feel stuck, as many Americans do, trapped by your financial mishaps, as though you have a ceiling in your earning ability, your capability, or that you can't seemingly get ahead? I believe everyone feels a bit stuck from time to time, but it's what you decide from that point that really matters. Do you feel like that point of you being stuck is limiting you, is stopping you from moving forward? Or is it literally just something that sets you up to figure out how to overcome that? So knowing how to educate yourself on how to properly manage your personal finances and then actually acting upon the knowledge that you have found to be true is something you can do. You're not limited by the knowledge that you have right now. It's just a matter of figuring out what you don't know that you need to know and then applying what you don't know to reshape your reality. Now, beyond personal finance, let's say that you just graduated from high school and now you're trying to figure out how to further your education. And let's say maybe you attend a trade school, you get certified in a certain area or specific trade, you enroll in an associate's degree program or a bachelor's degree program, or let's say that you enroll in a master class of some kind. You utilize a resource like podcasts or like YouTube in order to take that journey of becoming self-taught. Now, no matter what you utilize, just make sure that you're always a student, that you're always learning, that you're always growing, that your education doesn't just stop because you graduated from X or Y program, but making sure that you continue to educate yourself, to enroll in things that actually make you better, so that you can continue this journey, so that you don't just land your dream job and you stop learning. So I hear people all the time scoff at the cost of going to school, of education, not looking at the big picture, not looking at the long-term effects of getting an education. And so often, unfortunately, I hear people just opt out. They just see the short-sighted, short-term effects of getting a degree and they opt out. And sometimes they go and they actually, go ahead and pick up a trade or figure out how to program or something else. But I feel like far too many people succumb to what they seemingly know to be true about their own personalities. They see their own limitations or their own understanding of money or lack thereof. And then they basically just stop learning. They opt out and they think as though, okay, the cost of education is too prohibitive. It's too expensive. And I actually think that it's not the education that is prohibitive, it's really the wrong education. And people actually being mindful of what career fields pay based on what they're getting educated in, so that they don't go out and get a degree in something that is not desirable. Now, of course, there's a component to this of making sure that you are not just chasing the money. You're not just chasing a career that pays a lot, but it's something that you are actually skilled in. You have a innate ability to pursue and like and enjoy, and maybe even a level of passion to it. But you also should look from a standpoint of what actually makes sense for you from a career standpoint, and not just opting out of educating yourself in order to take a seemingly easier road. So my call to action today is to really think about this. What do you believe to be true about money by means of education? What have you been taught? What have you learned along the way? And have you actually verified it to be true in the marketplace? True from a standpoint of whether those principles actually work. And that would be my call to action, to look at your personal finance approach from a standpoint of whether what you have learned is actually applicable from a standpoint of you building out a financial plan for your life. If this information is helpful to you, please do like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you're reminded to come back on a daily basis and improve in managing your personal finances. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.